So just another quick video about a new feature in the latest public version of VDJ2023, which is built 7544 at the time of this recording, and that is the post fader stem effects, this thing. So this is of course from the changelogs, so this has been something that's been added. So what is this? Well, until now, if you had effects on stems and you turned down the volume of the channel or you used a crossfader, then the effects would stop too. So if you had effects like echo or something like that, that would normally have like a long tail, it would get cut off because it was pre-fader effects. Now you can have post-fader stem effects. So that's a new thing. But this is only partially true. So a lot of people have been waiting for this and they'll probably be pretty happy. Just know that right now there are some limitations. I'll get into those in a second. So let's listen to what they do. So I'll go into Virtual DJ. And I have this track here that I've loaded that's already prepared for stems. So it's basically ready to use. So of course I can do regular stems, work on it. So I can save the vocal, for instance, bring it back in. But I can also use Stems FXs, right? So I can click this thing and now it says that whatever effect you do is gonna happen to the vocals. So if I click echo, I get echo on just the vocals. And that of course works also when I pause the track by pressing the Q. But that has always worked because that's not the fader, right? The fader's over here. So post-fader effect is all about if I turn down the volume or use the crossfader. I'll just use the channel fader in this video. So until now, if I turn down the channel fader while doing this, so putting an echo on just the vocal stem like this, it would kill the echo. But like you can hear, that's clearly not the case anymore. So the Stems FXs now have post-fader abilities in them. So that's pretty cool. And then of course goes for all of them. We can do the same on using a delay, for instance, or a delay and a reverb. So same thing, and we can do it to the rhythm instead. So let's just do echo again on the rhythm. And it's now clearly post-fader. So that's really cool, and that's the new feature. But this is not the only place that we handle stem effects, right? If I turn it off here again, then we also have a pretty new option to do it in specific special effect slots. That's not these three, but are specific for each stem. So those are in use if I move into a Stems Plus effects pad page here. So these down here, when I enable those, like for instance in the vocals, then you can see that nothing happens up here. And that's because this thing uses its own effect slots. That has the benefit that you can now have different effects on different stems. And you couldn't do that before because it was all handled by setting your effects to on one specific stem, like you saw just before. So now we can have the reverb on the echo while doing beat grid on the instruments. So like this. Like that. And that's because, like I said, that if you look into the pad page, these are not using the regular effect slots. You can also see they're not being triggered. Instead, it's using something like Stems FX vocal or Stems FX mellow rhythm. So these specific effect slots, and you basically program them on the fly by adding these values for them, right? So 80%, one beat, and stuff like that. So these are another kind of stems effects really that have some benefits, but they do not work as post-fader yet. So you can see they definitely work if I just press the Q like I did in the beginning, like this. Like that, right? So that works. We'll try again. Like that. You can clearly hear that it's still working. But that's not the fader. This is the fader. So let me try the same thing with the reverb, and then turn down the actual fader, so like this.
You lay there on the kitchen floor. It seems like you can't take no more.
So you can clearly hear that it's getting cut off. So these kind of stems effects are not ready for post-fader, being post-fader effects yet. I'm pretty sure they're going to add that at some point. I'm pretty sure these just took precedence for it because they were needed on some of the new controllers that's being supported. But I'm pretty sure they'll get around to adding post-fader effects to these kind of stems effects also. So we'll see when that happens.